Hey guys, and welcome to the FitPro Social with me, David Kyle.
And me, Ash Burley.
Hey, super quick before we get into this week's episode. If you'd love a load of guides on how to generate more leads, how to chase sales, Canva graphics for your social media, Facebook ads, copy, and so much more for free, simply head over to thefitproportal.com/free. Anyway, let's dive into this week's episode.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending where you are in the world and watching this from. Welcome to this next episode of the FitPro Social. You're with me and David Kyle once again. And today we're going to be talking about quite an interesting one that is actually easier watching TV than it is running a business. You might be thinking, well, obviously, that clearly is true. And we're going to dig into that in just a second. But before I do that, like always, this is the FitPro Social. So make sure you do get social, get involved with the comments, get involved with the conversation. We really do want to hear from you. And also, if you want to come join us on our podcast, please do reach out to us. You can head over to thefitprosocial.com and apply to come and join us on our podcast as well. One more thing before I jump into this, Dave. I want to talk about what we did the other day. We had a joint session on about joint training that we did yesterday, yesterday Wednesday it was. So if you haven't checked that out as well, if you're a PT that's out there running a studio, and you've been thinking about introducing a hybrid offer that's a cross between kind of online training and in-person face-to-face, been thinking about doing that, make sure you come and check out our training that we ran last Wednesday as well. We'll drop that into the comments and the show notes so you can go and check it out. Anyway, enough of that. So Dave, let's talk about a post you put up the other day about Bear Grylls and what that has to do with why it's easier watching TV than running a business.
Yeah, I think it came off the back of a couple of conversations that I'd had over the last couple of days about people who were just stuck, who were lost, who needed that extra bit of fire in their belly to really get moving, and that's kind of where the post came about. So long time ago, just as I got qualified as a FitPro, I had this amazing opportunity to get a studio in the village that I lived in. So I literally could have woke up, walked like 10 steps, and I could have walked in the studio. I knew the person, I knew the landlord, rent was easy enough and everything. It was the perfect opportunity, but it was just easier to watch. It was just easier to watch Bear Grylls and not think about having to set it up, having to do it, having to figure out how to do it, having to put the work in. It was just easier to watch TV and just forget about it. But then that cost me the opportunity to have this amazing gym, have this life. And then I had to go through many years of struggles to the point of being able to be successful, because sometimes it's just easier to watch TV than to actually do the work.
Why do you think that was the case for you? I mean, what was it where you think I actually want to have this business, I want to do this and maybe take this opportunity? Yes, you say it's easier to go and watch TV than it is to go and do the work. But surely if you want something, you would do the work. What made you feel like you just wanted to take the easier route?
Yeah, you would think, and that kind of is it's probably the same for all of us as fit pros when we speak to our clients. It's like, hey, just stop eating and train a little bit. Like, you don't need to eat after 6 o'clock, and you just need to get out and exercise more. Like, for us, it's super easy to tell our clients, yet the clients can't stop not going to the fridge after 6 o'clock, or they can't figure out that they need to make time to go and do a workout. And I think sometimes the comfort zone that you're in is kind of like your shackles. It is kind of like that wall around you, your comfort blanket, your safety, it's just easier to just stay maybe in this pain, or this what I know, what I know, this comfort that I'm in, pain or whatever. I know what it's like, so I can deal with this, but I don't know what it's like if I go and step out of my comfort zone. And I think that's probably where that is where it is. I'm going to say for everybody, really. It's just easier to stay in that pain, that fear that than what it is going to be like stepping out of it and going into the unknown.
I think that kind of makes sense and definitely resonates with us. I mean, you think when you speak to clients, fitness clients, a lot of the time when you're trying to talk to them, especially if you're doing sales stuff, but anyway, just trying to keep someone motivated, you try and identify the pain they're in now. And then, yes, there's always going to be a painful process to go through to get to where they maybe want to where they want to be. But sometimes the pain you go through it's hard. It's more painful to sometimes go through that process to come out on the other side. And maybe that's a fear thing. Maybe it's the fact that, okay, I'm comfortable-ish here. Yes, I don't particularly like the position I'm in, but I've got these things I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with sitting in front of the TV eating chocolate. I'm comfortable watching Bear Grylls. I'm comfortable doing this, whatever it is you enjoy doing. And if I want to maybe get to this result over here, which in your case might be in a studio, or it could be a weight loss client who wants to lose X amount of weight for a wedding or whatever, like in order to get to that point, they have to maybe sacrifice this thing that makes them feel comfortable at the moment, or they have to sacrifice certain things that they maybe want to keep doing. And the pain is just too much. So this scared of like, well, what happens if I do sacrifice that? What happens if it doesn't work? Do you think that side of it, the fear side of it, has a lot to do with it?
I think there's a lot of different levels to this. So to put it into more context, I was living at my grandparents' with no money. I didn't have a job, or I was a part-time lifeguard because it was just easier. That because I wanted to become a fit pro, I wanted to have my own place. I had one or two like PT clients, but I'm not sure if it's like because you don't have a clear path, or you're unsure how it's going to unfold, or you don't know what you need to put in to get the results that you want. That it's I wouldn't say it's the fear of unknown that stops you. I think it's just the unknown that also stops you. So like, if you told me, Dave, my car's broken down, it's the engine that's bust. Or the perfect, I can give you the perfect example now. So we want to build a chat AI responsive text messaging system. I kind of know how to do it. I've watched plenty of videos how to do it, but to actually get it set up, it's going to take me a lot of time to do. Once it's built, I could be selling this for £300, £400, £500 a month to each person that wants to buy it. 10 people on that pay £500 a month. That's £5,000 a month for no additional work for me. But now I have to go and learn it and figure it out and understand how it works, and then build it and put it together and test it and all this extra stuff. And it's just like £5,000, yeah, but I don't. Oh, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be painful. You know what I mean? So it's not the fear of the unknown. Sometimes it's just the unknown, or the huge task that you have to. It's like that huge hill you have to get over. Hey, it's going to pause it there for literally 2 seconds. If you're loving this week's episode, please let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. The more people we can get subscribing, the bigger guests we can get, and the more people we can help with the content being shared. Anyway, let's dive back into today's episode. To then see the other side, to see the rewards, to see the benefits of it.
And that kind of makes sense, actually. I suppose you even see it with smaller things. Maybe if you've got a call booked in with somebody you don't really want to have a conversation with, or there's something, maybe a family event and you don't really want to go to it. A lot of the time, you just end up being like, you're trying to find every excuse under the sun not to try and do it and try and get to it. Maybe it's a similar kind of thing to that. I mean, that's a kind of micro scale. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that thing where if you don't really want to do something, you're not sure about what's going to happen in that conversation, or sure when you go and meet up with somebody. Even to that extent sometimes where people cross the street sometimes when they see somebody they've not seen for a while, and they cross the street because they just don't know what that conversation is going to go like. So it's best just to avoid the conversation because it's more comfortable just not having that conversation than what it is actually having.
And that maybe is pain. You know what I mean? That is the pain of you have to go through pain or suffering to get that outcome, and that's what holds us back sometimes. So like the dentist, like you've got a toothache and you really should go to the dentist, but the pain is there. It's just because you're scared of the dentist with his needle. Yeah, you're going for days and days and days with that pain, yet the dentist's got to be 2 seconds, instantly pain stopped. But it's just that pain of the injection going in is too strong to make you want to book, even though your tooth is hurting. You know what I mean? You can manage that pain. You know what that pain's like, so you don't really want to have to go through a slightly different or more painful experience to get the end result. Yeah, this is such a complex topic. Why did we even pick it?
I don't know about this topic. There's so many different levels and layers on it. But I think we could look. You mentioned something there about maybe this it's about being easy and about being comfortable, which I completely get it. Our entire society, I think, is built around making people comfortable. We don't really breed entrepreneurs for a start who are used to taking risk and comfortable being in risky environments. So I think it's very easy to live a comfortable life, and that makes it difficult sometimes to push past it. But obviously, like in your case and many people's cases listening to this, they've decided they want to go and do something. They want to be a business owner, a FitPro, whatever it is they want to go and do. So they're going to have to take some changes and maybe come out of that comfort zone to go and do it, but then decide that they want to stay in. Every now and again, they want to do these other things that they're more comfortable with, even though they are in a pain at the moment. Like you said, the pain of trying to figure out how to do it is difficult. And you mentioned a second ago about clarity. Like, is it because you don't know what you've got to do? Like, you don't know what you don't know the process. So it just becomes too much hard work to go and figure it out. It takes up too much time to go and figure it out. Do you think if people had a deeper understanding and a deeper clarity about what it is they actually wanted, they would put the effort in more to find out how to actually go and do it?
I don't know. It's a tough one. Like, this is the easiest example. You have no money to spend on ads at all. You've got no money at all. Yet you know you can get 20 clients paying you £40 each. That's 20 hours of PT. Each person pays you £40. That's £800 a month. You're going from 2 or 3 clients to 20 clients, and you're going from £80 a week to £800 a month. And you're like, wow, £800 a week for 20 hours work. That's life-changing for some people. And you know what I mean? That was life-changing for us at certain points. But you've got no money to spend on ads. So I'll just say to you, well, add 20 to 30 people a day on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and cold message 20 to 30 people on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter. Do that for a solid month, 2 months, and you will be at 20 clients, literally guaranteed that's going to work. So you have how to do it, you know what you need to do, you know the outcome, yet there's that hurdle, there's that fence, there's that thing that's holding you back from doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think as well, like this. Go on.
I don't have the answer to why. Our job now is to motivate you to do. It's such a tough, complex, crazy situation.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that's quite a good example. The whole, like, okay, you haven't got any money yet to go invest, so what you need to do is try and find ways of bringing in more income. And one of the ways of doing that is more organically, doing cold messaging and warm outreach and all that kind of stuff. If we use that as an example, because I think a lot of people listening to this will have been through that or maybe thinking about doing that. And if we maybe look at some of the reasons that maybe we've heard or I've heard or maybe you've heard as well why people don't do it, do you think there's a peer pressure side of this as well? Just if it's just one part of it, because there's a lot of people in our industry who really like the idea of cold DMs, but also hate the idea of cold DMs, or people that get cold DM messages through all the time and they just go anti cold DMs. And do you think the fact that because they're hearing a lot of that all the time through maybe other social channels or whatever, that they're now thinking, well, actually, if I do that, am I going to be like one of those people? Are my peers not going to like what I'm doing because I'm going out there and doing that? Do you think that is that another level to this we just decide to throw into the mix to make it more complex?
I've got another one on top of that. So first things first, just to make it super clear on my standing on this type of stuff. If somebody is saying you have to message Facebook ads don't work. They're trying to make money out of you and sell you a messenger course. If they're saying, don't ever do cold messages, the worst thing ever, it's rude, it's not nice, you should only do Facebook ads, they're probably trying to sell you Facebook ads. Like, we've literally said do Facebook ads, and we've said do cold messaging. Like, we have no bias. Like, we are trying to find you to generate you leads, and it's whatever you need to do. So be cautious. If someone is hounding you and they're saying this is the only way to do it, don't do it any other way, they're probably not going to be a good fit for your business, because they're trying to push something hard on you. But to maybe go back to what you say, and I think, like, you've got some good mates, okay? So, like, let's say there's you and you've got two other mates, and you've got 10 clients, and then this other mate of yours, like, now opens a studio, and then somebody else opens a studio, and you don't have a studio, but you know that one of the parents gave them the money, somebody else gave them a load of money for the other guy, and then you're kind of stuck. You have no cash, you have no rich friends, you have no family to give you the money. I think what a lot of us do sometimes is we look at those and think, they're lucky, I'm never going to get to that. That's that. You know what I mean? You're going in with a defeatist attitude that holds you back. Other people's success is causing you to mentally decide that you're never going to achieve that success because they were born at the right time, or they had an investor, or they just happened to win the lottery. You know what I mean? Sometimes other people's success can be the thing that's holding you back as well.
Yeah, almost like a woe, is it woe's me, they call it? A woe's me attitude. This idea that like all these other things are happening for other people, but not happening for me, and it becomes difficult. I think that's really interesting that people get imposter syndrome from that. They get annoyed by it, or they think, like you say, everyone's lucky. They're lucky that they had that opportunity. They're lucky that they had this opportunity. And I'm not going to say, without a doubt, that plays some part in it. But what I will say, it doesn't change the fact that you can't do these things. I don't think that should ever be an excuse. It just means people are starting at different points on the journey. That's all it is. Some people might be lucky and have, relatively well-off parents who can help them out with certain things. They might be that. And honestly, if you're in that position and you have the opportunity to go and do it for your business, then it's a resource that you have available to you. Then go and use that resource if you need to. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
And like, just jumping in here now, so you should consider me and Ash as the two almost opposites. Ash came from a I wouldn't say well-off family, but a family that had a business and a good, solid grounding in place. And I came from a council estate with both parents on the dole, having no money at all. Yet here we both are talking to you, trying to help and motivate you, both kind of in very similar positions. And it's not luck that Ash had this set up for him, or I was unlucky that I didn't have any of that set up for me. It's putting the work in. I could have thought, oh no, look at him, he's got it all set up, I can never achieve that. Or Ash could have gone, well, I've got all this, I don't need to work for it and do all this work, I'll just sit back and relax. That sometimes can get in the ways. Whatever you need, you have to work for it. Yeah, you will get that odd luck. Like in Southampton, I was incredibly lucky that I drove past a building that said PTs to hire the studio. Like what is the chance on day one? That's what popped up. That was my slice of luck. But I had to work for it. And no matter where you come from or what family you're born into or your friends, and you have to work. You have to want it. You have to put the work into to get these end results that me and Nash now kind of achieving.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I've definitely learned over the years, it seems that the harder people work, the luckier they seem to get. That's one thing I've definitely noticed out the whole side. I think if anyone is thinking here that, you are in that kind of position now where you're kind of on the fence, you're thinking, I want to do this, I want to push my business. And it doesn't mean you just want to start a new fitness business. Maybe you're already in a fitness business and you want to kind of take it to the next level. And it feels like, and I can imagine this is how I felt before in the past. I'm sure you're saying maybe it feels like you're stood on the edge of a cliff and you're just like, I know I kind of need to make this jump. I don't really know what's going to happen as I'm going down, jumping off this cliff into the sea, but I know I need to go and do this. And I think you'll either get to a point at some point. This is what happened to me. I don't know if it's the same for you, but this is what happened to me. I kind of got to a point where I was stood on the edge of this cliff and it was either everything was happening in the business like the way it was, and eventually I was going to either get pushed and have no control over that fall, or I can take the step myself and have a level of control over it. But to be pushed is relatively easy. It's scary, but you're still going to go. It just means you have no control. But if you take that step and you have control over it, it means you've made that decision to do it, and you can then decide on how you're going to land at the other end of it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think let's go with that key word you said there, which was step. Now, if you're watching this and you want to set up an online fitness business and you're comparing yourself to Joe Wicks and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to have 10,000 clients. Or you look at some of Ash's clients and like they've got hundreds of clients, so they're earning thousands of pounds a week from their fitness business. And you're like, I'm never going to achieve that. Then you just need to take that first step. You just need to say is, today, I'm going to learn a little bit more about what it is running an online fitness business. And then tomorrow, you try and figure out what goes into a program. Then you do a social media post saying, hey guys, I'm going to start doing online fitness business or online fitness coaching. Then you message 10 people the next day. And all you need to do is do one step, then the next step, then the next step, then the next step, and then the next step. And I think this is the mindset thing. So it was easier for me to watch Bear Grylls than go out and do the work to get this dream studio back in North Wales where I'd love to live back. I wasn't prepared to make that first step, or I didn't have, I don't know, would you say the confidence, the belief, I didn't have, what didn't I have? Because I got Google. With Google, anything's possible. So I had access to the information I needed. I just didn't have
maybe you didn't have the confidence to implement. Yeah, the self-belief to implement the information that you're getting. I think that's kind of the same for maybe fitness clients. You think about all your clients you probably work with in the gym or anything like that. They have access to all the information in the world. They've probably Googled it, looked at it, done whatever, but they haven't implemented it for whatever reasons. And then they come to you for help, and eventually they can start implementing it. And maybe that is because as a coach and a trainer, what you basically do is you find out what their end goal is, and then you break it down into small, easy steps. So instead of that client looking at this like, oh crap, I've got to lose X amount of weight, I've got to do whatever, like it looks like this big mountain they have to go and climb. And I think sometimes if you look at this big daunting mountain you've got to climb, and you go like, I can't get from here to that. It's ridiculous. That's too far. It's too much effort, too much stress, too much danger, whatever. But in reality, when someone can sit next to you and go, well, actually, it's okay. Like, you know how to do this. Like, we know how to do this. We know it's possible. There's people up there now doing it. But all we've got to do now is just take this first step, then take this next step, take this next step. And maybe that's something to do with it. Maybe sometimes you need something to give you that self-belief. And once you have self-belief, it then gives you confidence. And then to take those little steps. But I'd imagine there's definitely a couple of things you need with that. First of all, you need to know what steps to take, I guess.
Yeah.
That helps. And then maybe you then just have the confidence in yourself to take those steps. And I think experience gives you that. I think now we will do things in our businesses, and I'm sure many people listening to this will do. You'll do things in your business that maybe 5 years ago you wouldn't have done, because you would have been like, oh, I'll step back on this. But now you kind of have the confidence to be able to go, oh shit, I'm going to take this step. And if it doesn't work, it's fine. I've got the skill set, or I've got the confidence and self-belief to deal with it if it's not exactly the right step to go and take, because I know I can just take a few steps back and go another way if I need to. And I think that comes with time as well, and a bit of experience.
Hey, just going to pause it there really quickly. If you know any guests that would love to feature, or if you yourself would like to feature on one of these episodes, do let us know by reaching out or letting us know in the comments. Anyway, let's get back into the episode. I think I've got it. The reason I didn't commit then, and it was easier to watch Bear Grylls, is because I set my target too big too soon. I reckon that would be the best way of explaining it. I'm going from doing one or two PT sessions a week to owning a studio. You know what I mean? There is such a huge gap, like, of different things that need to be achieved. There's so many hills and troughs, and there's just so much that goes between becoming a fit pro and having a studio. And I think that's probably what it is. I set the target or the bar I set an unrealistic target. And that almost comes back to my post this morning where I was on about don't set unrealistic targets for clients. It's going to lead to just not having good clients. I think that's probably what it was. Yeah. Okay. I'm happy now. I can rest in peace. I know
I know.
why
You
I
can
never
rest
had
easy.
that studio.
We can go to sleep now and that. And it actually makes really perfect sense. But if I use that kind of mountain analogy again with Everest, if you've never climbed anything before in your life, and you go and stand in front of Everest, it ain't gonna happen at all
Yeah.
because there's nothing. You've got nothing. You've got no grounding to let you know that you can even take that first step in the first place. But if you say, actually, I'm going to go and climb, I don't know, a hill in the Peak District somewhere, which is near where I live, like it's fine. Most people can look at like, oh, I can go and do that. I can achieve that. And then you learn as you do that. You learn those skills. You learn that confidence. You go, right, I can take it another level now. Take it another level now. And I think that happens in business as well. Like there'll be ambitions and goals that you set that you might think be quite ambitious, and you'll get there. And when you get there, you're like, well, actually, now I've got another goal and ambition. And I think that happens in business. I think that happens in life as well. It's very rarely that you'll set a goal, and then when you achieve that goal, you don't become stagnant. You have another one and another one because you become more confident in your ability to reach these different goals and the life that you want and things like that.
You
That
know,
happens to me
that's
anyway.
got me thinking. You know that maybe maybe we're setting goals that don't align with us. And because I was just thinking then, like you just said, if you stood in front of Everest and you never done that before, then you're probably going to think that's impossible. Yet to me, I'm thinking, I'll definitely give that a go. I've never walked higher than Snowdon or the one in Scotland, Ben Nevis. That's
I
the
know.
highest I've ever gone. But I'd give Everest a go. And then I was thinking, oh, what about something completely different? Sailing a boat across the world. And I was just thinking, I'd give that a go as well because that's the type of person I am. Yeah, if my nan said, Dave, we need to knit a jumper for you for Christmas, I'd probably think, oh, I don't really want to do
Don't really want
that.
to.
That's not really, that doesn't seem like fun and enjoyable. And so I think sometimes maybe, you know what I mean? Yeah, we've set realistic, unrealistic goals that are going to be too difficult to hit. And that's what puts us off. But maybe, and we've talked about this before, you're setting goals that are not really your goals.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
that's a
they're
really good
goals
way
that belong to somebody else, and
yeah.
it's just the wrong thing.
Yeah, we actually see that quite a lot in this industry. It's something I'm always ranting on about online. When a perfect example is a monetary goal that a lot of say coaches and stuff might put out there and say, I want to have 10K a month or whatever. And it's fine to measure that as a measurement, but a
Get
lot
ready
of
for
time, like
VAT.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like, if let's say someone's telling you, if you see an ad somewhere or something like this saying, no, you need to earn 10K a month. My question would always be, how do you know you need to earn that? Like, you don't, because it doesn't do anything. The money doesn't do anything unless you do something with it. So you don't really know. And a lot of times in your business, you can be setting goals because other people in the industry are setting those standards for you or setting those goals for you, and you're just trying to do it. Where in reality, you haven't sat back and thought about exactly what it is you want from this. And I think kind of how you described it there with the kind of sailing across and the climbing the mountains and things like that compared to knitting, it makes a big difference because it's a goal you want to do. But I would also argue that you kind of said there about, yeah, I might go and climb Everest, but I've been up at Ben Nevis before, so I know a little bit about it. Or if I said to you now you're going to go and sail across the ocean, would you do it solo on your own, or would you go with a team of people to help you?
I'd give it a
Like, would
go.
you just go and jump on a boat right now and go?
Yeah, me, I'd give it a go because I'm an adventurous type of guy. You know what I mean? So I would be willing to give it a go and try it. Like if someone said, "Go and jump off that cliff into the lake," I'd I'd give it a
Yeah,
go because not that I would enjoy doing it, but it's that type of kind of, I don't know, adrenaline kind of thing that I would like to do. Whereas somebody said, I dare you to go and get a tattoo. I'm thinking, you can dare me whatever you want. You can probably pay me whatever you want, but I don't really want a tattoo, and I'm not a fan of needles, so I wouldn't do it, even if you were going to give me money. So you know what I mean? The mind is just so complex and complicated. Um, yeah, it's such. We've just picked a difficult topic to talk about
yeah.
today.
I'll tell you what, though, I think from that, it's definitely some things that kind of make sense to this. And I think if you're sat there now and you sat in front of your TV or sat watching this, maybe procrastinating watching this, like a lot of people do that. I do that sometimes, just watch stuff when I should be doing something else. But say if you're watching whatever, doing whatever, and really you kind of know you've got a goal, you need to go and do something for it, but you're not doing the things that you know deep down you need to go and do, then I would maybe take that step back, as kind of like Dave was kind of alluding to there, and really think about what your actual goals are here. But even go deeper than that. Don't think about the goals for your business. Think about your goals for you. Like what do you want out of this? What do you want in your life? What do you want your life to be like? And I think if you start there, then work backwards. It can kind of give you an idea what you need to go and do with your business, like the moves you need to go and make. And once you've got an idea of what that business needs to kind of look like in order to help you achieve what you want, they can kind of figure out how best to go about it. And that can be research and the information about it into it, or maybe even getting help from someone to go and do it. And yes, you've still got to do those hard crap things that no one really likes to do. Like there's no way you're going to enjoy every single part of your business. I guarantee it. Like sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's awful. Like it's just the way business is. But when you understand what you're doing it for, I think when you understand that this is what I really want out of it, this is the life it's going to give me, maybe it becomes easier to do those hard things. Maybe it becomes easier to get up and go, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it because I have to. Yeah, and I actually see that in adventure, interestingly enough. In climbing, you get that a lot. There's a lot of times where I've been climbing before, especially in winter conditions, and it's awful. Weather's awful. The everything's just like not gone wrong, but it's just not the nice experience at all. But I can't just sit down and do nothing. If I sit down and do nothing, I'm going to sit down and do nothing for ever. Like I ain't coming back out of it. I have to go and do the stuff. I have to get up and work in order to just get off the side of the mountain. Otherwise, it's going to be game over. Maybe it's the same kind of thing, really. When the goal's there and the goal's big enough for you and it's in line with what you want, then maybe it's easier to do the hard things. Maybe, I don't know.
I just think as you're saying that, like, I think you have to take that first step, and then you have to keep taking mini steps. The more mini steps you take, the more wins you're going to get, the more confidence you're going to develop in yourself. And you'll say this to clients all the time. This week, I just need to do 2 sessions as a first week. They get 2 sessions, and after the first session, they're really motivated, they're really excited, they're really passionate. And then you say, next week, I just need you to start writing down your breakfasts. You're not giving them anything special to do, but okay, I need to write my breakfast. And they're mentally preparing themselves there. And what I was thinking of as you were saying that then is, like you've got these massive tasks ahead of you, but you need to find that inner motivation. You need to really take a deep look. Now, imagine, I don't know, me and Ash put together a team of 11 Fit Pros now to play a game of football, and we're going to play Man City tomorrow. Like, if we beat Man City, we win the Champions League or whatever. We know Man City just won the Champions League, so it's going to be impossible to beat them. But we put us Fit Pros together as an 11, and we really started motivating and start getting each other pumped up and start really starting to inspire each other and everything like that. Even though we know we have no chance, by finding and motivating and encouraging and inspiring each other, we go onto that pitch with that kind of belief, that spring in our step, that what, if something goes right for us in this game today, like anything is possible. So take those mini steps, get those quick wins, but like I said, go a few steps back, figure out what it is you actually really want and why you want it, and what's the benefit to you and your family and your people around you and your life and all this stuff, and really start working on that, building the vision card as per se, and using that then as your power source, as your energy to take that first step then, and then to walk and then jog and then sprint and then really go for it, is probably how I put all this together from right now.
I love that. I reckon we should take that and stick it into a reel and give it to everybody. What you just said there. Perfect motivational speak. We'll put some motivational music behind it all from that. Cool. I think that's actually a perfect way to round up this episode. I don't know if you think that, but I think that's a great way to finish it off. So yeah, for everyone here that's been joining us, thanks to the ones that said hi in the comments. I just noticed that's popped up on there, so hi back. Thank you much for everyone for watching and getting involved. As always, if you want to find out more about what we do at the FitPro Social, make sure you head over to fitprosocial.com. You can also follow us on the usual podcast channel. So make sure you do subscribe. Give us a thumbs up and all those kind of things to do with that. We'll put the links in for the hybrid training we talked about at the start into the show notes, and they'll be somewhere around this video. And if you want to come and join us on this podcast and just share your thoughts about what's going on in the industry, your opinions, and just have a discussion about what's going on in your life, then feel free to come on here and get involved. And you can do that over the fitprosocial.com and apply for our lessons on there. So yeah, I think that's it from us.
Cool, guys. Appreciate it. Like you said, just take that first step. That first step will start to give you more of a clear path of where it is you actually need to go to. And sometimes it is just that first step. It's all it takes. But yeah, appreciate your time today. Reach out if you need anything, or do watch the hybrid training, and we'll speak to you all next week. Bye-bye. Hey, just want to say a big thank you for sticking around to the end of this week's episode. As a big thank you, head over to thefitproportal.com/free, and we'll give you a load of additional guides, social media, Facebook ads, email scripts, and so much more to really help you start generating leads, making more sales, and growing your fitness business. I'll see you all next time.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the FitPro Social. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes.